Welcome to the first lesson of the FloWarrior Academy Beginner Saber Series. I am the FloWarrior, a professional performer with over 15 years of experience, here to share my knowledge with you and help you get started on your lightsaber journey. In this free beginner saber course, I'll be showing you the most fundamental techniques in saber spinning, which will serve as the basis for almost all more advanced saber techniques later on. This includes the basic spin on both sides of your body, the figure eight, which shows you how to transition continuously between the different sides of your body, as well as the basic flow, which shows you how to transition from forward figure eight to reverse figure eight continuously. Each one of these techniques has multiple variants, which I'll be going to in much more detail in the following lessons. So even if you feel like you have some familiarity with them, it would still be worthwhile to go through these lessons to understand all of the different ways in which they can be applied. Using the example of the basic spin, which we'll cover in lesson 2, this can be done behind my body, in front of my body, to the right, to the left, in reverse grip, in reverse direction, as well as in my left hand. I know you're probably eager to get started spinning your saber, but before you do, there's a few points that we should cover with respect to theory and terminology that will help you get the most out of this course. The first thing we need to define is the spin direction of the saber. Almost all saber techniques are composed of two circles, one originating in your wrist and one originating in your shoulder. The convention is the direction that the saber is moving at the top of the circle is the spin direction. So if I turn to face my right side and the tip of the saber is moving in the same direction at the top of the circle, this is a forward spin, and then this is a reverse spin. If I were to face the camera, this would be a left circle because the tip of the saber is moving to the left at the top, and this would be a right circle. Next, it's important to be able to define the so-called plane of the lightsaber. When the saber is spinning, it is defining a two-dimensional plane or disc, and the orientation of this plane relative to our body is very important to understand and control. This black yoga mat that I'm standing on has a long edge in front and behind my body. These are called my front and back wall planes. So this throw is in my front wall plane, and this throw is in my back wall plane. If I were to turn my body to the right side, these long edges are now on the right and left sides of my body. These are called my right and left wheel planes, as if I'm standing between two train tracks. Now, planes are generally defined relative to the direction that I'm facing, but with the basic flow that we'll be covering in lesson 4, the direction that I'm facing will be changing throughout the motion. In this case, I'll be defining my static front and back wall planes as those front and back wall planes as if I were facing the camera the entire time. The next thing that's important for us to define is the way that we're holding the lightsaber. We generally want to hold the lightsaber close to the center of balance, which is typically located near the top of the hilt or even sometimes in the blade. So we're going to be holding the saber near the top of the hilt. You'll notice that my hand has a pinky side and a thumb side. When the blade is on the thumb side, we call this forward grip, and when the blade is on the pinky side, we call this reverse grip. Finally, I'm going to highly recommend that you build a training saber. Even if you already have a lightsaber, it's nice to be able to practice with something that you're not concerned about damaging. I'll include a video link that will show you how to build an inexpensive and durable training saber that is the correct length and balance point for you. Now that we understand the language of saber spinning, we can move on to the basic spin and its variants in lesson 2.